Hey, it's Steven with the Disenfranchised podcast. You know, that podcast all about those franchises of one, those films that fancy themselves full-fledged franchises before falling flat on their face after the first film. Generally, I'm your host, Stephen Foxworthy, but today I'm joined by nobody. That's right, because life found a way once again, as it is wont to do. However, much to Tucker's chagrin, it found a way on a straight up week. Those happen 4 times a year, and it just happened to find a way this week. Don't worry, though, if you are a fan of the straight ups, Tucker has not allowed us to skip one. So we'll be pushing that back to next week. You'll hear our straight up episode then. For now, though, we've decided to go a slightly different route. This one is more or less a straight up just was behind the paywall for a little over a year. That's right. We back in January of 2024 recorded an unenfranchised episode on The Rage Carrie 2 from 1999. For those of you who are not familiar with our Patreon exclusive shows, Unenfranchised is a show where we talk about movies that killed off your favorite franchises. And this is one of Tucker's favorite movies of all time. And so we covered it behind the paywall. And the whole gang's here. Brett, Steven. Oh, I'm Steven. Brett, Tucker, and myself all got together to talk about The Rage Carrie 2. So we're going to talk about that episode. Join us next week for a postponed straight up. And if you were looking forward to us covering Columbiana, sorry, you're going to have to wait for that one a little longer, I'm afraid. But we do have some other fun stuff coming in June. Our patrons already know about it. Patreon.com/disenfranchpod. You can follow us there for $5 a month. You get access to episodes just like this, along with What Are We Watching episodes, and of course a monthly preview of everything we've got planned. And if there are any changes to the schedule, we let you know that first if you're a patron. So head on over there. You can find me, Steven, your host, over at Chewy Walrus on most social media platforms. Tucker is at Ice909 on most platforms as well. I think mostly YouTube and Instagram, and then of course Tuck_Mugs on Instagram. He will probably berate me if I do not spell ICENINE, the number 0 and the number 9 for his regular handle. You can find Brett on Letterboxd if you want, but nowhere else. And while you're out searching the web, you can follow the Disenfranchised podcast at disenfranchpod at Bluesky, Letterboxd, and YouTube. You can shoot us an email, disenfranchpod@gmail.com, and we would really love and appreciate it if you left us a 5-star rating and review, please and thank you, over on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. We sure do appreciate it. So without any further ado, having gotten all of that housekeeping out of the way, here is our Patreon sneak peek, Unenfranchised Episode 9, The Rage Carrie 2.
Franchise bacula.
Hey, it's Unenfranchised, that podcast all about those movies that killed off your favorite long-running franchises, safe behind the paywall, where only you and you who pay us that sweet $5 a month can access it. I'm your host, Stephen Foxworthy, and joining me for the first time this month, it must be a miracle, is my boy Brett Wright. Hey, Brett.
I am here.
You are here.
I did it.
You did it, man. I was worried you weren't going to be able to join us for any of this king-ing. We did like a whole month of horror movies, and you've just been like out.
I know, man. Look, work sucks. You know, right?
I know.
Work.
Yes.
I can say that behind the paywall because nobody's going to hear it.
Nope.
Fuck work. Fuck this place.
Yeah.
And they don't pay me enough for this shit.
No, they really don't. Look, Brett. I'm gonna give you a little heads up. They never did.
I mean, they pay me well, but they don't pay me enough for this.
Look, Brett, they never did, and I hate to tell you, they probably never will.
Yeah, we'll see what this year's raise looks like.
Well, I hope it's a good one for your sake. As someone who has worked for that company in the past, that Never what you're worth. But hey,
Yeah.
Tucker's here too. Hey, Tucker.
Hi, Brett. I'm glad you're here, and let me tell you, I don't think that you like this movie very much, but I guarantee you, it's better than The Night Flyer.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Not
I
much.
mean, I already
better?
know that most Stephen
Oh, I
King
disagree.
adaptations are very rarely good, so that doesn't surprise me.
I can see someone being indifferent to this film, like Brett seems to be, where it's just like whatever. Like
I don't think
care
Brett's
about
indifferent to
It's
this film.
boring.
I mean,
know?
I am really like. Did I give it a low rating? Yes, spoilers, but like.
I was gonna say
at the
I saw
same
your
time-
letterbox rating
At
of
the
it.
same time, like I wasn't going to give it a 2.5, which is what you think my indifference would indicate, because I think 2.5 is too good for this movie because it's just nothing. It's a big old nothing burger with like a really cool 10 minutes at the end.
See, here's the weird thing: is the Carrie of it all is my least favorite part. Like the end is cool. I like the whole massacre at the party and stuff. That's rad, but that's the part I care the least about. Like it's the rest of this movie that really, really gets me. I really like it. Really like it a lot.
What movie, for those who just could not be bothered to read the fucking description of this episode, what movie are we talking about, Tucker?
Well, first of all, I need to get in some inebriates here because I'm way too hyper right now.
You really are. I'm already drinking, dude.
We're
I'm
talking
amazed
about
I didn't start during this movie because God, I could have used it.
one of my favorite films of the era, one of my favorite underappreciated, unseen sequels, The Rage, Carrie Dose.
So glad you brought
That's
the
two in
visual aid
Spanish.
on a podcast.
I did. Well, I'm trying to cool it off. This DVD's smoking, dude. I'm playing it so much today. Whew.
Okay, Tucker. Here's the question.
Smoking.
Since I put this on the schedule a couple of months back, how many times have you personally watched the film The Rage: Carrie 2 from 1999?
Well, let me tell you, Stephen, I usually watch it at least once or twice a month anyway. So I'm instead going to tell you how many times I watched it this month in preparation, which is when I really started preparing for this episode.
To be clear, we are 3 weeks into January as of the date of this recording. It is January 21st in the year of our Lord 2024. So Tucker has been watching this for exactly 3 weeks. I just want to preface this with that.
Now, I don't really know how to express this because I want to start with the most I watched it in one day, which is today. And technically, I watched it 3 times, but 2 of those times I watched it simultaneously on 2 screens coming from different sources. So does that count as 2 each time I did that? Does that count as 2?
I mean, if you want to get technical, yes.
Okay, I need an official ruling on this because I need to give you my count.
Yes.
So
technically, yes.
So each of those counts,
5 today.
It's 5 times today. There was a day this month where I watched it 2 times, and then I think I've watched it 3 times outside of that. Yes, because I watched it the first time I watched it, then I watched it that one time before we recorded, and then I watched the commentary after we recorded that one time.
Gotcha.
And then, so I guess it would be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times I've watched this film this week. But like I say, technicality, I did watch it on 2 screens at the same time today. So if you want to minus 2 from that, you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's still insane. Brett, how many times have you watched this movie in your life?
Once.
Same.
Sweet. Sounds like that's just about right for both of you.
Mm-hmm.
Although I wouldn't be surprised if at some point I just don't remember seeing this in passing on syndicated television, because this feels like a movie that would be in constant rotation on like the Sci-Fi Channel or something.
Look, if I'm being honest,
honestly it feels like a sci-fi original.
It feels like a TV movie.
Yeah.
Which I'm gonna go into this right now because we're talking about how it looks like a TV movie, right? I noticed something interesting today, and you guys already know, but pretend you don't. I noticed something interesting today because I was watching the streaming version from HBO Max, which of course is in the theatrical aspect ratio.
The Academy
then
ratio.
My DVD has both full screen and widescreen. It is a flip disc. So the first time that I watched this simultaneously with the DVD and the streaming version, I watched the full screen version, the pan and scan version.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, this movie vertically, you see a lot more of the film when you watch the full screen version, and I don't notice any pan and scan at all. It's perfectly framed the entire time in 4:3. And now when I watch it in widescreen on the DVD and streaming, it's the exact same. So it's not like the streaming version has been cropped or something. Like, that's the original theatrical version. But like I say, the full screen version shows more vertically and barely anything else horizontally. So I have a sneaking suspicion, I wish I could have proven it before this recording, but I have a sneaking suspicion that this was originally filmed, at least partially, as a television film.
That wouldn't surprise me.
No, it wouldn't surprise me either.
Speaking of the making of this film, I don't know if you guys did any research, but
Not
you didn't
much.
have to, because your boy knows as much as there is to know about it.
That's what I was banking on for this one.
Why do research when you are the research?
Correct.
I am the research. This film was already 2 weeks into production when the director came on to the project. The director
Always
that
a
they
good
started
sign.
out with, cited creative differences and left the project after 2 weeks. The
Tale as old
credited
as time.
director, Kat Shea, she reshot everything that was previously shot. And the reason that she reshot it is because when she came on board, she worked with a few of the actors to sort of fine-tune some of the characterizations of the different people in this film. And I honestly wish that I could see the other footage to see like how they were playing it before she came on.
It's like wanting to see the Eric Stoltz version of Back to the Future, man.
I'd like to see as much of it as is available, just because like that's something I haven't seen. You know, why not? Why wouldn't you want to look at that at least once to see what it was like? Like,
I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it works, man.
Well, of course it doesn't, but it's there.
Curiosity, like I wouldn't mind seeing the Eric Stoltz scenes from Back to the Future just to see how fucking weird it would be.
Right? And you can see, I mean, there's some of them that are available to look at, but I don't know if there's more than are available. And I would love to see just to see how different the characters are.
Curiosity, man. Curiosity.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much every male character in this movie is just like a walking toxic masculinity cliche.
Yeah, absolutely. They are. And I think something that you can credit this movie with is kind of putting some attention on rape culture before anybody gave a shit to bother to put any attention on it. And also the thing that happened in this film with the boys and the book and the girl that killed herself and stuff, that's something that really happened in 1993.
Right. I mean,
it's something that actually happened.
It reeks of like ripped from the headlines kind of stuff, for sure.
And I think everyone in this film that is a piece of shit, the men and the women, I'm sorry, the boys and the girls, because they are children. Well, their characters are. They're obviously adults.
No, we got a bunch of it's the 90210 problem. We got a bunch of 30-year-olds playing high school students, but yeah, continue.
And I don't remember where I was going with that. But yeah. What was I saying?
Talking about the shining spotlight on rape culture at a time it wasn't being done.
No, how I think all the performances by the people who are mean, nasty people are on point because I fucking hate all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Homeboy from Home Improvement. Holy crap. That
He
dude
plays the exact same character in Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, a movie I watched last
that
week.
he does. I forgot. I haven't seen that movie since it came out, but I do remember him being in it. Yeah.
He plays pretty much the exact same character.
Wowzers.
And I got to tell you, when they all shave their heads, the bald caps they use, fucking atrocious.
No, they're not bald caps, dude. They all shaved their heads.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did. Listen to the commentary. The director
Zachary
says,
Ty Bryan did not shave his head.
She says him specifically, she needed him back for a reshoot. And when he came in, his hair was still really, really short, and she forgot that they all shaved their heads, and so they weren't able to do those reshoots.
Yeah, I can see his bald cap bunching under his bald cap bunching under his baseball cap. So
all right, dude. I'm just saying.
As someone who used to shave their head,
according to the director.
Well, but how often did you see the back of your head, Steven? To know what it looked like.
You look, man. You shave, you use a mirror. Sometimes you use two. You got to angle them so you can see, make sure you're getting everything on the back there. So
I just use people that are around. I'm like, hey, did I get it? And they're like, no. And I'm like, okay, here.
I usually shaved my head in the shower, and no one really wants to look at that, Tucker. So
in the shower, how do you throw the hair away?
Well, it's really short, so you
clog
just
the drain.
it's stubble, yeah.
Add to the sewage.
I never let it.
What do they call that thing? All the stuff in the sewer. There's a name for it.
Gray water,
the clump or something.
You're a clump.
I am not 7 different versions of Eddie Murphy. How dare you?
I mean, I just calls it like I sees it, man.
Not that I wouldn't be proud to be, but I am certainly not.
Sure.
Yeah, dude. But
so maybe they shaved their heads, maybe they didn't. Who cares?
I promise you they did.
Ladies and gentlemen, who the fuck cares?
I think Brett has the right attitude. Hey, Tucker, I have a question.
Does.
Not to completely derail everything, but did what are we watching? Didn't get posted today, did it?
Why would it get posted? Oh fuck!
Because it's Sunday.
You guys, fuck a duck.
No, thank you.
You missed one day.
What do I look like, Leah Thompson?
It's a Tuesday. It'll be a Tuesday.
I see what you did there. That's
yes. Thank you.
Good job
internally.
Yes, I totally forgot about that. Farts.
I was gonna say we recorded one, and I'm sitting there looking at the feed, going, "Where is it though? It's not up here,
man. It's a real long one too."
We did go on
quite a bit.
Our one fan who needs it uploaded on time is losing their mind right now.
Losing their damn mind.
Speaking of our one fan,
speaking of one fan.
Look, 2 fans actually commented on my Instagram post about this movie. Mm-hmm. One of them I know is a patron.
Brandy,
the other one
right?
I'm not sure about. But both of them really dig this movie.
Hi, Brandy.
So, you guys, be nice to the audience. Pretend you like it. JK, don't pretend.
Look, I'm gonna be honest. Look, we haven't really pulled our punches before, so why start now? And people don't listen to us because we pull punches. We're honest with ourselves and with our audience. That's what integrity looks like.
And our other philosophy is that, if it brings you joy,
if it makes you happy, then it can't be that bad.
Yeah.
Hey, that's not what I've heard. I've heard this is really bad.
I mean, it is.
But I
don't think it's bad. I just think it's boring. It's just like an hour and 20 minutes of predictable stuff with 10 minutes of cool stuff, and then the movie's over with a really bad end scene. What the fuck is that?
Look,
why is that there?
Brett, you think that was bad?
Yes,
you should see what the original was supposed to be.
What was okay?
I can only imagine.
They shot it and they did the visual effects for it, so it's on the DVD. It's really cool because when you put on the alternate ending with the director's commentary, they actually go through it like 4 or 5 times. The first time they show it to you complete, and then they show it to you in different stages of VFX, and it's really interesting actually. But everything is the same except instead of her shattering, spoilers to anyone who hasn't seen this movie, go watch this movie. A snake comes out of her mouth and jumps into Jason London's mouth, and like he falls.
Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah. Oh god, that is fucking weird.
That's bad. I mean, that the effects look okay for 1999, so I'm glad that.
I mean, they're unfinished 1999 effects, but yeah.
Well, maybe the one you're looking at, but the one on the DVD has a finished version of the scene because they screened it when the film was completely completed.
What's interesting is it unlocked a deeply buried memory of seeing at least a commercial or a trailer at some point showing that scene of her shattering as like in the trailer.
Right.
It's a classic trailer move. Like, here's a random scene that, like, if you've seen it, you know it's at the end, and that's a spoiler. But if you haven't seen the movie, it's just like, oh, that's a cool, creepy scene that may be in the movie somewhere.
Like that, from the movie, what was that movie with Jennifer Carpenter from Dexter, where it's the remake of and they literally show you the ending.
Quarantine.
The remake of Wreck, yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
It's called Quarantine, yeah.
Yeah, and they just literally put the ending in the movie because fuck you, that's why.
What's interesting?
Go watch Wreck 1 and 2. That movie's fucking great. Don't watch Quarantine.
Okay.
Well, I think the first one is good, but the sequel, I mean the Quarantine, because Quarantine has a sequel too, which is not a remake of the sequel to Wreck.
Right, yeah, it's a completely different movie. And
I enjoyed Quarantine, but that sequel, I mean, I get what they were trying to do, but it just didn't work for me.
No.
Did not work for me.
No, it didn't.
The concept was interesting. I really wish it would have worked because like the whole idea of the second one was pretty rad, which I think is why I watched the entire thing.
Me too.
Otherwise, I was like, I don't really want to watch this, but it might get good because this is a really rad concept.
Yeah.
So what's interesting about this? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say. Meanwhile, Wreck 3 probably not that great. You can just stop it too.
Probably not. Yeah. What's interesting about this ending, the epilogue, you know, the obvious,
the 1.5 years later epilogue, yeah.
Which they include the original one too, where her hand comes out of the grave.
From the original film.
Of the flashbacks.
Yeah, they do.
And we're getting to the flashbacks because I that's probably pretty polarizing. But so this was one of the things the director talked about in the commentary that she didn't even want to do because this script was originally not a Carrie movie. It was just called The Curse.
Right.
And the original director,
honestly,
it reads like a not Carrie. The Carrie elements seem very shoehorned.
The original director read the script and was like, "We should make this a Carrie movie." So they did that, and then he walked out.
By the way, is Robert Mandel.
Walks out 2 weeks into shooting, and so Kat Shea's like, "Okay, I'll do it." But she really was uncomfortable with the connection to Carrie because she felt like this movie could be more of an homage to Carrie, but it didn't have to take those beats from it because it was a sequel, and she wished that it didn't have to do that. Having said that, it's surprising that she was the one who wanted to put the scenes from the original in this film, which I am famous for saying, don't put scenes from a good movie in your shitty movie because it just makes your shitty movie look shittier.
Mm-hmm.
Which is where I'm sure most people stand on this. But I think
you are
like
famous for saying that. Yes,
I think I am. Maybe not on the pod. I don't know if I've ever said it on the pod before, but I do say it quite often. Yeah, man, you made me lose my train of thought again, Steven. Damn it.
Choo choo.
Damn it.
It's weird. She was directing it, didn't want it to be connected to Carrie, but she added those scenes anyway, so that's weird.
So Sue Snell is back, obviously.
And Amy Irving.
She did not come back until she got Brian De Palma's blessing.
Right.
Who read the screenplay and was like, yes, I approve of this as a sequel to Carrie, because this wasn't like a sequel to the book. This was a sequel to that adaptation of the De Palma film.
Right.
Also, she had to get Sissy SpaceX, the director had to get Sissy SpaceX permission to put the scenes from the original in the film.
Right. They asked her
And
to film a cameo and she said no, from what I understand, but did sign off on the footage being used. Is that accurate?
yeah. In the commentary, the director says that they had shot it and they put it together and they put the scenes in and they showed it to Sissy Spacek, and she was okay with her image being used in the film in that way. And honestly, I don't think it's
95% the swan stuff, or the prom stuff, excuse me.
Yeah. And I think I could see where this would come off a certain way when watching the film, but after listening to the commentary several times, I kind of understand the intention of it, which makes me forgive it a little more. But at the same time, I feel like I'm getting way too in the weeds here. But the reason the director wanted to put them in so bad is she wanted to remind the audience of where Sue Snell is coming from.
Right.
Like what she's been through. Which is really rad, and I'm way into that until they unceremoniously kill Sue Snell.
Yeah.
That came the fuck out of nowhere.
I was going to say, which comes out of fucking nowhere. Completely.
I am all about killing main characters. I think that's very brave. But you gotta give it some weight. Like, you gave the character so much weight in the entire movie. It's half Sue Snell's story. And then just, she gone. Bye-bye.
It took me a second to register what had just
happened.
Right?
Like, it happened so quickly.
So quickly and out of nowhere.
Right.
Whoa! You're like Brad Pitt in Fight Club when he shoots the van.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa! It's right. Wow. It's a good effect. I really like the effects in this movie. The practical ones.
The practical ones are really good. I agree. But it comes completely out of nowhere. It doesn't feel particularly earned. I mean,
and I don't think it's needed either.
The deaths of all like the jerk children, like those all feel very earned.
Yeah, fuck those motherfuckers.
Like girl getting her glasses all splody in her eyes, and then turning the spear gun and like ripping off Home Improvement Boy's nuts and shooting him into the pool. That was
then
beautiful.
discount Matt Dillon drowns, and like that's pretty fucking scary. Like the way they show that is kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah. I'll tell you, I have issues with this movie, and I recognize that there's a lot of it that doesn't work. But it's one of those things to where the shit that does work for me in this movie, the shit that doesn't isn't bad enough for me to like not let it be overshadowed by the good stuff. You know what I mean?
Sure. So take us back. Paint us a picture, Tucker. When did you first engage with this movie, and why does it mean for you what it does?
Well, those can be two separate stories, though they will lead into another.
Sure.
How I came across this film was I was that age when this movie came out. I was like a junior in high school when this movie came out.
99. You'd probably be sophomore, junior, yeah. March.
Like
99.
I started working at the movie theater a few months after this came out. So I had the poster. They still had nobody wanted the poster because nobody gave a shit about it. So I
missed it by that much.
I was like, this poster is rad, and I took it and I had it for a while. I wish I still had it, man. But I had the original one sheet to this, and I'm like, it looks like this poster's rad. I'm like, and Carrie, like maybe, I don't know. I had my reservations, and then I rented it on video at the Blockbuster there a little bit after it came out, and I dug it. Like, I was okay with it. Like, I wasn't head over heels about it, but I didn't dislike it. I was like, yeah, that was cool. But then the older I get, the more this becomes like a comfort film for me, because I'm not the most of nostalgic guys. I think nostalgia's rad, just like everything, in moderation. But I think if you get too nostalgic in certain ways, that it's hard for you to move forward as a person. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
I mean, that's kind of being borne out in pop culture now, but yeah.
yeah, so I try to kind of moderate that shit. But the Rage Carrie 2, this is I was here when this was happening. This is almost like a video. Like if someone took a video at my school when I was a junior, movie would resemble it quite a bit in a lot of ways. So it takes me to a time and a place.
I mean, I was certainly getting flashbacks watching this movie. Like the way everyone was dressed, that one kid who finds his way into multiple shots with the pink hair.
Yes.
Like I was just like, I know these people.
Exactly. You know those people. You've been to these places.
Yes. I was not always welcome in those spaces, but I knew the people that inhabited them. Goodness, I am tired and I've had some whiskey, so it's a lethal combination for my diction tonight. Apologies, everybody.
You got this, Steven. But outside of the nostalgia, I think that I would probably still think of this film favorably. I wouldn't rate it as high if it weren't like a snapshot of my junior year of high school. I would probably think it was above average, because I really do like how in this one, whereas the first one is more about building up to the big climax at the end, I think this one is more about the drama and the character development of all these little shitheads. And I think there's more of that in this film, to the point to where most of the time you forget like there's a scary thing that might happen. Like when the Sue Snell scenes show up and all of a sudden she starts getting a little weird, you're like, oh shit, I forgot this is a Carrie movie. I thought I was watching a TV movie on ABC Family. Fuck.
And if you're able to remember that you're watching a Carrie movie, the machinations of all the teenagers begin to start to make sense. Like you can see, you don't exactly know what it's building to in the same way that you do in the original, which I watched the other day in preparation for our episode.
I watched it last
tomorrow.
week too. That's the only movie I watched last week.
I watched that and the 2002 made-for-TV movie yesterday, and then I watched the Rage Carrie 2 tonight, actually like 20 minutes before this recording, and then watched. I'm planning on watching Carrie the musical and the 2013 Carrie tomorrow.
Something else that I enjoyed about this that was different than the original is that I feel like it's so much worse what happens to Rachel in so many ways, because she gets fucked in like 4 different ways at one time.
Right.
Whereas Carrie's, and it's also traumatic. I get why Carrie did what she did, but it's a bucket of blood and that's fucked up, and fuck all those motherfuckers. But this girl is not only being instantly betrayed by people who only just a few minutes ago made her feel like she was part of the group. Not only that, but she finds out she's in this book. She finds out the whole scoring system thing. And then, oh no, wait, we're not done. And then they put the sex tape up on the TV. And I love how they made that, because it's just one television. But you see many of them because it's reflecting onto the glass.
You see him turning it toward a mirror, like rotating the TV toward a mirror, which is reflecting all over the house. Yeah.
That's so fucking clever, dude. I think that's really clever, just to make it very surreal in the way that it's just surrounding her.
Sure.
It's fantastic.
I was definitely thinking, watching that scene, go, what if this were the real world and she didn't have powers and killed everybody after this? What the fuck would have happened? Like nothing, probably, and that's what's terrifying. Like
exactly, yeah. I mean, because we already see Home Improvement Boy basically getting away with statutory rape because there's, quote, not enough evidence to tarnish the reputation of this upstanding boy.
And daddy's a lawyer in bed with the fucking mayor. Yeah.
Right. Like it, I mean, and I'm just like, how many fucking times? Like, this is the reason the Trump kids are not in jail right now. I guarantee. Like, it, shit like that, right? Where you're just like, this is completely disgusting. And as the only difference between then and now is that we can recognize it now for what it is, and are more willing to call it out. But at this point, it's just like, well, that's just the way things are. And God, it sucks. It sucks so much.
Yeah, dude.
Like just the undercurrent, the very strong undercurrent of just completely toxic bullshit masculinity couched in, well, boys will be boys, which they legitimately say at one point in this movie.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm not going to deny, as much as I thought this movie was like vanilla, at the same time, I loathed these characters.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking forward to watching them all be horribly massacred at the end.
Yes.
Like, I was waiting for it, and I wanted it very badly, to the point where I wish they'd been massacred more and suffered more than they did. But like,
I don't know, dude who got the poker through his head, like I think he saw, and then Home Improvement boy got his nuts shot off with a spear gun. That's pretty brutal.
Bled to death from his balls.
Yeah, and then TV Cher got her glasses all splody and got shards of glass in her eye.
That's the gal that was in the first. Well, she was in a bunch of episodes of Flight of the Conchords. She was in
or
like they keep dating. Like she goes between them quite often.
That's funny. She was Cher in the TV version of Clueless, like the only person from the original cast other than Dan Hedaya that didn't return for the show. And then she was in, along with Mina Suvari, also in this movie, she was in the movie Sugar and Spice, which is a really fun movie that I really do
good,
enjoy.
Yeah.
That and Drop Dead Gorgeous, like that's just such a great double feature in my mind.
I agree. It's hard to think of one without thinking of the other.
It is.
I'm being honest.
Yeah. And this movie, I mean, it's got a pretty decent like cast for a late 90s, early 2000s, like a bunch of people who are just getting ready to pop and a bunch of people who are just kind of on their way down, like Jason London kind of on the way down, Zachary Ty Bryan kind of on the way down, but then Rachel Blanchard and Mina Suvari, Eddie K. Thomas, like a year or two before. No, I think it's the year that American Pie comes out.
Yep.
Like, I think it's the same year. 99. So yeah, there you go. Like Eddie K. Thomas, I'm just like, holy shit, Eddie K. Thomas. Like it's got like, I was shocked at the number of recognizable cast members in this movie, for sure.
Former President Gerald Ford's son plays the coach who makes a boy expose himself in the locker room. Speaking of that scene,
that's a good. Speaking of someone who's been in education, that's a good way to get yourself fired.
Yeah, well, in the 90s in that school, boys will be boys. But so what I really appreciate about this movie is I like its visual style, and I think its visual style doesn't really jump out at you when you watch it for the first time. It's something that you appreciate over multiple viewings, which I don't imagine most people view this multiple times. But for example, in that scene, everything takes place with the film being projected on it. All the people, the film's being projected on them, like they're standing up in front of the projector.
Right.
And it's really interesting to kind of watch what's going on and to see kind of that violence happening on them. Like, I don't know. It's really cool. There's a lot of really cool stuff like that in this movie, but like I say, it's the kind of stuff you don't notice unless you've watched it at least 2 or 3 times. It doesn't really register and sink in. Yeah. Yeah, dude. Yep. Also in this cast, your girl Emily Bergel, who had never been in front of a camera before this point.
Oh, nice.
She had been in a shit ton of plays. She was a stage actor. And they got her in this. This was the first time she'd ever been in front of a camera. And let me say, this girl knocks it out of the fucking park. It's one of the most natural and believable performances, I think.
I was going to say, given that it's difficult, I'm surprised that she was a stage actress, because usually acting for stage and acting for film, very different.
Very different.
There's not as much of that kind of performative, I'm playing to the cheap seats kind of projection that you get from stage actors, like myself included, a lot of times in movies.
she's flawless in this. I think I never doubt anything that this girl does or says in this movie. I think she's fantastic. I think everybody else is good too, but she really, really sticks out. Like, just so natural. Like everything. I don't know how to describe it. She's just, I believe it all. You know what I mean? And as an actor, that's what you're trying to do, is to get people to believe that you're not acting.
Right.
I believe it, Emily. I straight up believe it. Salute.
Yeah. I mean, I think she does a good job. The thing that I miss, and the thing that I think, if, at least from the versions that I've seen, that no one has been able to match Sissy Spacek on, are just the dynamism in the emotion of her eyes, which Spacek does so well. I was paying a lot of attention to that in my most recent rewatch yesterday. And like, she sells everything with her giant blue eyes that are so piercing. And that final scene, I think half of what makes the prom scene in the original, I think half of what makes it so creepy are the eyes. Like, she's just got these giant blue eyes that stand out so starkly against the just dark red of the blood all over her. And and De Palma is so smart about framing them. Even when she's not the center of the frame, like, she'll be deep in the background and something's happening in the foreground, and her eyes are standing out piercing. And that Angela Bettis really wasn't doing that in the 2002 movie. And we don't really get.
She's great, but no,
Right.
I agree with you.
And Emily Bergel's not really doing it in this one either. Like, I think the way they shoot her is interesting, and I think it's dynamic, and I think that it lends a lot to kind of the emotion of the scene, but the eyes aren't selling it the way that SpaceX did, which I think is so key to it. Becomes, for me, the thing I remember most about that movie. And it's something that every other version that I've seen in the last couple of days just has fallen short of.
Well, I really think that that's a problem the biggest problem I have with this film is how it is Carrie 2.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't need to be.
No, it all feels very shoehorned in.
The only thing that having this be a sequel to Carrie does is
lets us cover it on Unenfranchised.
It makes you want to. It makes you want to compare it to the original, and that's something that, to enjoy this movie as much as I do at this point in my life, that's something that I had to push aside a long time ago to get this much enjoyment out of it.
Sure.
And I'm not saying that anybody else should do that, like, whatever, or I'm not saying anybody else could, but like, for me, that's why, like, most of the time when I'm watching this movie, until they mention Carrie or show a little clip, I'm like, oh shit, that's right.
Oh,
that's
right.
That's how much I've psyched myself out of it being a Carrie movie.
There's something after the colon in the title of this movie.
Because it works so well without that.
I was going to say, you could remove all of those elements and make it something else, and I think it would play better.
Even make it an homage. You know, basically just the same string of events like it is now. Just take all the Carrie shit out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could be an homage, you know?
Yeah.
I'd be into that.
I will say this. Carrie's dad definitely seemed to have a type.
Yeah, dude.
Like, man had a type. He was very into the mentally unstable religious fanatics, for sure.
Mm-hmm. That is
and
true.
I'm sure we'll talk more about that on our our patrons will have heard it already, our episode on the 2013 Carrie. I'm sure I'll have more to say on that then, but yeah.
Word.
Well, I'm sure being able to tap into the shinning is probably affecting that a little bit. You know?
Sure. But I mean, according to Sue Snell in this movie, that's all him, man. Like, he's passing that on to the daughters, and the
straight up genetic.
Right. And the women are like, I don't know. Do you think that's the thing driving them mad, or you think they're kind of there already?
I think he is, like, because he clearly has it. So he's passing it on to, but like, maybe that's maybe he knows what it is and he wants to pass it on, but he has not everybody with the shinning is good. So
Sure. As Dr. Sleep tells us, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
mean,
dude's got a type though. I just couldn't help but notice, and I kind of wish we got more with the mom in this.
She's great
because the J. Smith Cameron is the actress, and I've seen her in some other stuff, and I generally like her when she shows up.
Actually, most of the deleted scenes, she's in them, and she's fantastic. But I
was going to say she's in
one where
Succession. She's Jerry in Succession.
That's where I recognized her. Fuck me, thank you.
No
bugging the hell out of me the whole time.
Literally just looked up her, and yeah, that's 100%. But no, I did the same thing. I was like, fuck, of course. That's where I know her from, of course. Yeah.
There's one deleted scene where Rachel visits her mom at Arkham before we were throwing around those references.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Carrie too, getting there to the finish line first.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so she visits
Expect
her.
to see the Joker around any corner.
It's really sweet. It really adds. I understand why they cut it out for pacing. I don't know where it would have went, honestly, but it's really kind of sweet and gives a little bit more weight to their relationship, because you don't see them together until the end. Like, you see them together in the first scene, and she's a small child, which I love, that tracking shot where they track the little girl into the house and the doors are shutting behind her.
That is cool.
That was great.
I liked that. Great. I was kind of like, is this good actually? And then like the next scene, I was like, oh no, it's not.
And then it
turns out it's not.
Immediately, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
but in this deleted scene, she visits her mom, and she lies to her and tells her that the family she's living with are really nice and that they spend time with her and they do things and everything. And her mom mentions that Rachel will be 18 in a few months, which means that she can be her guardian and she can get out of the loony bin. All things you didn't need to know, but kind of add to. I really thought it was really sad, because like, what Rachel's home life is like, but she's just so that her mom doesn't worry or get sad is.
But you get the impression that it probably wouldn't be that much better with her mom in that situation. Like her situation wouldn't improve that much.
Well, I don't remember if this was in a deleted scene or not, but there's one part where she's talking to Sue Snell, and Sue Snell's like, I think Rachel straight up has telekinetic powers, and her mom's like, no, I was crazy when I thought that doesn't exist. Like, that's so she's kind of seems like she has maybe gotten better. Like I said, I don't remember if that's in the movie proper, or if it's in the deleted scene.
I think that's a deleted scene. I don't remember that.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I don't remember that specifically. I mean, I remember. I don't think they address it specifically. I don't remember.
Because that kind of muddies that character's arc, because she's clearly crazy when she sees that guy that isn't there.
Yeah, George.
Yeah, George.
And then when she first sees Carrie, or Rachel, damn it, she sees her as a little girl. And then when she sees her as she is, she's like, well, no, you're not my little girl. The devil has you.
Yeah.
The devil's in you. Scream. Yeah.
That was fucked up.
It doesn't have as much weight as I feel like it should have, just because we never see them interact with one another outside of that first scene. Like,
and I think that's why you need that deleted scene that Tucker was talking about, if for no other reason than just to establish their continued relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because for all we know, they haven't seen each other since Rachel was a child.
I feel like that's what's implied.
Yeah.
In the theatrical cut. Like, I think that's implied, because the way that they edit it and the way they frame Sue Snell trying to get her to get out, because it's like, well, why can't she just come there and you can talk to her? Like,
Sue, why can't Sue bring her to the institution? Why can't she bring her to Arkham?
Speaking of Sue Snell and the institution, boy, that's smooth. When she gets her out and she plans that to where the other patient freaks out so that everybody looks that way, just smooth. She's in a Metal Gear Solid game, dude. It's like she's got a box. She's in a box, like scooting around. That's some slick shit.
Oh, hey, can you grab my purse? Races out, patient scream, orderly comes, and yeah.
Yes. Beautiful. Now, while we're originally this tangent started on us talking about the cast, and I did want to mention one more thing about the cast before we maybe move on about that. I just wanted to clear up that this is Jason London. This is Mallrats. Mallrats, not Dazed and Confused Seventh Heaven. Jeremy London. This is Mallrats.
Yeah.
Jason
Mallrats,
London.
dude.
This is Tu Wong Fu, London.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yes, it is. Oh, he's so sweet in that movie, too. He's just a sweet boy in all those movies. Those London boys.
Was not I can honestly say not a big fan of him in Mallrats, if I'm being really honest.
Really?
No, actually, you got it twisted. This is Dazed and Confused. Yeah, I'm looking at his IMDb right now.
The other one is Mallrats Seventh.
Jeremy is Mallrats London.
Look, they're twins. This is a mistake that I'm sure happens all the time.
Because I'm also confused. So yeah, that makes sense.
Because I just looked it up to make sure, like before this podcast, and I'm already getting it mixed up.
Yeah, no. Jeremy London. I think it's Jeremy London. Let me double check that.
Jeremy is his Baraja.
Yeah, Jeremy is the Mallrats London. And Jason is the Dazed and Confused London. Indeed.
I don't know why, like, look, if I had a twin, I'd just be in the same movies with them. You know, we could just, like, switch in and out, like, tag team. Like, oh,
Mary Kate and Ashley style.
Yeah, dude. Like, I'm tired. Come on, man. I'm gonna go back to the trailer. You wanna? All right, tag out. Have them both in makeup, costume, everything ready to go. Do a scene with each. See which one's better.
I mean, they've done that. The Ashmore brothers in the X-Men films. I know there are a couple episodes of Buffy where the Xander dude and his twin are like in the same scene together. Like they do that shit for sure.
And the guy, the Gremlins 2 Terminator 2 guy too.
Yeah, the Joe Dante loves those guys. They're also they play the Warner Brothers in Looney Tunes Back in Action.
You're talking about the Warner Brothers, right?
Yep. Talking about the Warner Brothers. Yeah.
The brothers Warner.
Yeah, from Gremlins 2, you don't Martin. They play Martin and Lewis in and they run a cloning division of a gene splicing operation. So the inference there is that they are clones. It's so funny.
Yes.
And they're Martin and Lewis, and then there's like some of their lab rats are named after the chipmunks. There's like so many subtle jokes in Gremlins 2. Just now that is a masterpiece, but
Agreed.
I also feel like they were in an episode of Erie, Indiana. Am I crazy?
The pilot episode of Erie, Indiana.
Yes, the pilot episode. Yes.
Directed by Joe Dante.
By Joe Dante.
The man himself. So yeah, man.
Joe Dante.
Dante fucking loved those guys.
Who wouldn't?
I mean,
they seem like sweet boys.
They do. They really truly do. I hope they're doing okay. I hope they're all right.
Yeah, I haven't seen them in a while.
I truly do. Everything you're doing is bad. I want you to know this.
I want you to know this.
Oh.
Yeah, dude. The Rage. Carrie
Carrie too. Yeah. What a cast. I watched it too, yeah. For good or ill, I watched the damn thing. So yeah.
Straight up, what a picture. Let me get your thoughts on the tattoo. Because I think it's equal parts lame and badass.
Now, are we talking the initial tattoo on the arm, or are we talking the full body tattoo?
I'm obviously talking about when it grows. Part of her shine is that she can grow tattoos, which is
what I think makes it sick. Like, it's pretty fucking cool, in my opinion.
Yeah, dude. But also lame, but also really cool.
I think the tattoo itself originally, just as is lame. And then
I want to
grow it, like that's cool. It covers her whole body, badass.
I want to get that tattoo, but damn it, it's so lame. Like, I want to get it, like, in honor of this film, but it's so lame.
The original tattoo is like, it's fine. It's one of those like it's a marker, it's an indicator. Like I think it sets the movie in a specific time and place. Like everything else about this movie is like distilled 1998, shot directly into my vein.
I
Like,
called it in the chat
you
1998
did.
movie.
You did.
Yeah.
I stand by that.
It
No,
absolutely is.
you're
Yeah.
right. You're absolutely right. You're right, and you should say it. So I don't
got
mind
to
the
a dumb Scream reference.
Oh,
yeah,
the director hated that. That's why she had him do it in the Donald
Duck
voice to
Yeah.
kind of make it a joke, because the studio was like, you have to put that in there. And she's like, all right, well, if I do, I'm going to fucking make it stupid. So
Mhm.
like, fuck you.
Yeah, because I mean that was the thing though. Everyone had to reference Scream because Scream was the hotness. Like horror movies had been really shitty for several years, and so let's
Some would
inject.
say.
Some would say. You obviously would not.
No, a lot of great stuff came before Scream. Like immediately before Scream 2.
Sorry, had a burp.
That's like the longest burp ever.
I was concerned for a minute.
No, you were concerned.
Is he gonna run out of breath?
Maybe. Fucking maybe.
Don't want to see Steven drown in a burp.
Straight up, maybe.
I would never expect you to run out of breath when you're on, when you're doing a diatribe. That would be weird.
No, what was I saying?
The jokes.
The
listen
tattoo,
to you
right?
kidding me?
You were
Oh yeah, the
talking about
tattoo.
Right. I think once it spreads across the whole body, I'm just my first indication is fucking how. Like, how does that work?
Oh. Yeah, that's why it's lame.
Man, powers, man. Like, it's all you need to know. It doesn't need an explanation. Fucking powers.
No, but we need
like,
consistency, man. Like, I need the internal logic of the thing to work. Like, she's got telekinesis.
I can maybe explain it to you. So she can move things with her mind, right? Maybe there's enough ink under her skin that she can move that to different places.
Is it a fresh tattoo? Because I don't get the impression that it's a fresh tattoo.
So her friend was 17. She had the tattoo as well. So I'm assuming since the deleted scene where she talks to her mom, where she says she'll be 18 in a few months, they both got them recently. I mean, their guardians would have had to sign off on that in almost every state. Even then, you couldn't really get a tattoo if you're under 18. And most places won't even let you with a guardian or parent's permission.
I once worked with a lady who got a tattoo with a student and like pretended to be her guardian so she could get it.
Wow.
She did not remain hired very long. She did not remain employed there very long.
That's
still
cool, man.
Logic stands though.
Sure.
More than likely it was fresh. If we want to go with that logic, there's also just the fucking logic that it's fucking supernatural, man. Like, you don't need an explanation. It's just like
moving shit around.
Moving shit with your mind. Look, moving shit with your mind ain't real too. You want to try to explain that?
Look, I mean, I'm able to suspend my disbelief to the extent that the movie explains what I'm seeing. Like, you can tell me it's supernatural, it's magic. She has telekinesis. Fine, great. I'm on board with that. I read fucking comic books, but like the extent to like it has to make sense within the logic of the thing. Like, the X-Men are mutants. That makes sense because within there's a logic within that.
Some of those powers don't make sense even with that excuse.
Correct.
There are some powers.
I was about to say, even X-Men does that all the time.
But that's the reason. That's the reason I don't like X-Men as a rule. You guys jumped on my point.
Sorry.
No, you guys know, but absolutely,
we are like-minded.
On my point, there needs to be an internal consistency and an internal logic to the thing for me to be able to get on board with it. And I feel like that lost me in that moment. Like, you're sacrificing a sense of internal logic and internal consistency for something that looks cool, and that is one of the things that does
look cool though.
It does kind of look cool.
And if there's one thing I love as a
but it doesn't make fucking
DM
sense.
is the rule of cool will win at all times. Does it make sense? Fuck no. Does it look really cool? Hell yeah, go ahead.
Well, I think for me in this instance, like, I understand what you're saying, Steven, and surprisingly, I do agree with you. But like most things that are wrong with this film,
I'm going to die on this film.
It's very easy for me to overlook and just be like, "Holy fuck, that's rad." You know what I mean?
Sure. But that's why I don't like 90s comics, man, because it was about how cool it looked at the expense of story and character and all the other shit that I love. So
you're not gonna like that Venom sequel then, because that's a middle school 90s comic reader's wet dream.
Like, see, there is a line for me. Like, it doesn't always win. Like, this is something that isn't so far-fetched that you couldn't find an explanation for it. So, and it looks cool, so I'm fine with that. But if it's like so over the top, literally no explanation could even touch it, then I'm like, okay, could we dial it back a little bit? Like, I get it.
Like, if
cool,
her head detached from her body, spun around and flew around the room a few times, and then reattached, that would probably be
or
a
like
step
the
far,
thorn
probably.
sprouted off of her skin and started attacking people. Then
Oh
like,
yeah,
okay,
if it turned into yeah,
right.
that would have been too much too. I would have been out.
Yeah, that's no.
Yeah,
But still, I think it's fine in this movie.
So how long? No, I don't want to mention that. Never mind.
Well, you already have. So
right, you might as well finish that thought.
No, redirect. Trust me, redirect.
No, was it that bad?
Oh God,
no,
dude.
It's not bad. It's just I don't know. It might be too soon.
Too soon?
Yeah.
You want to just say it and edit it out later if we don't think it's
no. No, I don't. So wait, how weird is it? Like his buddies
make Tucker voluntarily
like,
edit something?
His buddies are like 25 feet away while he's boning some chick in the back seat.
Yeah, that's fucking weird.
What the fuck is that?
I mean, I guess the only explanation I can proffer is the 90s were a really fucked up time.
In a lot of ways, yeah.
In a lot of ways, yeah.
And the homoerotic, suppression of, gay tendencies in football players. Very big trope.
Mm-hmm.
Very big trope.
For a reason, but yeah.
No, for a reason, yeah, for sure. I don't want to stereotype anybody, but,
Right, but I mean, You all right there, dude?
Yeah, man. Good. Yeah. Great. I just gotta take a drink real quick.
Do what you gotta do, brother. We'll wait. You just made Tucker edit something.
I counted. It wasn't 2 seconds.
Wow, you're just gonna let that dead air sit. Nice.
No, you said something. That's why I'm not going to edit it. If you'd stay completely silent while I was taking that drink, it would have been edited because it would have been over 2 seconds. But you broke it up, and now it's not over 2 seconds, so it stays. Fucking stays, dude. Plus, we're behind the paywall. So.
That's true. I remember Brett's
back in the day, man, tradition to not make any cuts behind the paywall.
We did not edit a damn thing. My dog
was it because I was lazy and didn't want to edit that shit? You better believe it was, but it's a tradition.
Damn straight.
Anyway.
With every episode, whether it be the Patreon or the main feed, if I pay attention to this, if any of us does like that, some kind of gross noise that the audience is not really going to want to hear. I don't want to hear somebody burp in my fucking ear, dude. I get enough of that at Taco Bell while I'm trying to eat. But seriously, the people making the food, I don't eat in the dining room anymore because they're like just out there burping. They're having burp fights in the back. And I'm like, that's cool. Like, I'm not against burp fights. But your boy's out here trying to, have some taties. Like, come on, you guys. Try to eat.
How often does that happen? Has that happened to you? It seems like an odd occurrence to have happened more than once.
Exactly.
I prefer to dine in when I eat, if possible.
Sure.
So I gave this place so many tries. Every time I went in there, this is the local Taco Bell here in New Hampshire. And I used to try and go inside. Half the time the dining room was not open. And when I would get inside, they would have the loudest, most aggressive music coming from the kitchen area, which, again, not against loud, aggressive music, but I don't come to Taco Bell to sit in the dining room and listen to fucking speed metal while I'm trying to eat my taties.
Don't want to do that on Kuma's, thank you very much.
Well, that's what you expect when you know what you're getting into.
Right.
You don't
And I don't think
expect
they
that
have.
when you walk into a Taco Bell.
I don't think they have Kumas in Beep, New Hampshire. So
No, they have them in Beep, Illinois, though. I heard that's where they're from.
yeah, they
LOL.
do. In Beep, Illinois, they sure do.
And also
It's
Beep,
just
Indiana.
it's a
Right.
little tiny town outside of Gary, Indiana. That's where Steven lives.
That's where I live. Correct.
Yeah, dude. Wowzers. Whoa, I don't remember what we were talking about as far. Oh, we were talking about the tattoo, but I feel like we had moved on.
Oh, I think we had. Yeah, we were talking about dude having sex with his 8, like 25 feet away from his buddies who are all like,
yeah, what a journey this guy goes on, right?
Right.
Like
I don't
think. But look, he participates in the ranking book thing.
Yeah, he is
So
culpable.
that's a big, like, what the fuck, dude.
Mm-hmm.
But I think as the film goes on, his character turns into kind of changes a bit, you know, it grows
Mm-hmm.
into someone that maybe is not that shithead, which I don't think makes him any less responsible for certain parts of what happened.
Correct.
But still, it's nice to see a character change in a positive way. I love a good redemption arc, dude. I'm a sucker for it.
I mean, to me, he definitely fits that trope of like there's a group of jock dudes, and there's the one main character guy
Mm-hmm.
who like plays along, but you can tell doesn't really want to,
Right.
and like he feels bad about it, but he does it anyway.
Uh-huh.
And he befriends the main female protagonist
Because that's his boys, because they've all been friends since they were kids, which discount
Right.
Matt Dillon mentions many times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because the whole movie, you're like, why is he friends with these assholes?
We've known each other since we were dumping in our diapers.
Yeah, dude.
Which is such a weird fucking way to say since we were babies. But, you know,
well,
whatever.
that guy's kind of a weird guy anyway.
Yeah, he's a douchebag.
He says a lot of weird stuff, and that dude, he's got the look for it, man. That dude, I'm sure he's a wonderful human being, but in this film, with his hairstyle and his facial hair and the way that he acts, he looks like a fucking asshole. If I saw him walking down the street, I'd be like, "Fuck no."
Mm-hmm.
Boom, this way. Like, fuck no. Get
Bag
out
of
face.
douche.
Yes, an entire bag, not half full. Like it's coming out the top.
Yeah, it's overflowing, full unto overflowing.
Yes. What's that guy's? We should say that guy's name because I keep calling him Discount Matt Dillon.
Dylan Bruno, or is it Dylan? Bruno, something Bruno. I just closed the IMDb page, of course.
It is Dylan Bruno.
I was right.
Yeah. He doesn't, like, if you look at his IMDb picture, he doesn't look like as much of an asshole without that facial hair. He actually looks like a pretty cool guy with like, when he's put together, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like
what is that?
The short spiky hair and the like douchey necklace and
the frosted tips and the hemp covered like ball chain necklace.
Oh, is he the fucking boyfriend in Where the Heart Is?
Oh, is that the one where Natalie Portman's pregnant in Walmart?
Yes.
I love that movie.
He's not the original boyfriend. I think he's like maybe the second boyfriend or whatever.
Man. That movie's wild. Especially when that came out, we were like, what the fuck is this shit?
Right. Now I have to know, because I mean I was a Natalie Portman fan as a child.
Yeah, it's him because it's on his IMDb. It comes up as like the most popular thing he's been in. Willie Jack Pickens,
which makes me think, yeah, he's the original boyfriend. Sorry, he's the father of her child who becomes a country singer later.
Nice.
That's who he is. Which is his whole look, as you know, that D-bag look, I think fits well for him in that respect.
He wears it like perfectly. Looks like a complete piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Looks like Zach Baggins before Zach Baggins. If anybody gets that reference, I don't know if you watch Ghost Encounters.
Oh no,
no, dude.
Straight up, no, dude.
You can't. If you say my stuff, Steven, I can't say my stuff. So I'm gonna have to ask you to back off the straight ups, okay?
Straight up, make me, son.
Dude, boy, you cruising for a bruising, dude.
Bring it.
Cruising.
Bring it, bitch.
Woo! Steven's sassy tonight. Ooh, boy.
I am punchy as fuck is what I am.
So the other guy that's in their gang, he's just kind of a guy, and we don't know anything about him. He pukes at one point after the friends are all sitting in the car 20 feet away from where their friend is straight up boning someone.
Yeah.
And I love that, like, they finish this, you hear the sound effect of the zipper, zip, and he just starts getting out of the car, and she's like, that was great, and he's like,
yeah,
oh yeah, okay.
I mean, I guess so. Sure, that's cool.
I gotta pee real bad. You know how it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow, I've kind of felt like that bitch was a bitch. I'm sorry. That woman was not a good person, is what I meant to say.
I mean, that's definitely
but I
not
did
what
feel
you said, but
I
yeah.
did feel bad for her in that moment, where he was just kind of like.
But this is why her arc is weird.
Yeah,
like, you feel bad for her in that scene, and then like just she becomes the worst. Like what?
So like her motives are like, yeah, I get it, but also you're see you next Tuesday. I'm trying to be better, you guys. I'm trying to be better. Okay, let me be better.
Look, dude, it's whenever you're ready to start, man.
I'm starting so hard, dude. Like all the time, I'm starting.
New Year's resolution.
I'm in a perpetual state of start.
That makes so much sense. Yeah, which is why there's no progress, because you're always starting.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's how they get you, Steven.
That's how they get you. Oh, but yeah, man, I don't have much more to say about this movie, I'm afraid. Like,
you're lame.
No,
you're not, Steven. You're cool and we're friends, but
I
it's
accept
lame
my
that
lameness.
you don't have anything else to say.
No, it's just, all I can say that I haven't said is I wish there was more Mina Savari in this movie, and that's about it.
All right. Well, I'll fill another about 20 minutes of me just bringing things up, and then you guys can comment on it. What about that song during the party scene? They just keep saying 13 cats. You know what that song's called? 13 cats.
13
know who
cats?
it's by? 13 cats.
I caught it in the end credits. Yeah.
It's so like it doesn't let you miss it. Like you're trying to pay attention to the movie. It's like 13 cats, 13 cats, 13 cats, 13 cats.
It just goes to show how much I was checked out by then, because I don't remember it.
I guess so. Brett didn't wake up until people started dying, dude. Like that's
basically.
Yeah.
That tattoo started moving. He was like, wait a minute.
Brett, all right, finally.
I can put my phone down. Sweet.
Nap. Brett had a good old nap, like checking out, making sure the inside, checking his eyelids for leaks, and then all of a sudden that tattoo started growing. He's like, "Oh, okay."
Tattoo started growing.
Okay, cool. Something
this looks like a hill I can die on later.
It started popping off.
Yeah,
dude.
Murder.
CDs. People getting murdered with CDs, dude.
That reminded me of the Cenobite with the CDs.
Yes, what's one of my favorite Cenobites actually.
Of course it is.
We should do a top 10 Cenobites list.
Because I know from Cenobites. Come on.
Oh, I mean.
And in what world is Pinhead not number one? Am I crazy?
Tucker's.
Well, yeah, probably, because of course it wouldn't be. But
he's 3. I like the lady with the throat, and like I said, the guy with the CDs. Those are my 2 favorites. So one day we should rank them. If you guys ever like catch up and like get more context for it and have like a top 10 or a top 5, then we should do one.
I don't really see myself desiring to engage with the Hellraiser.
You do? Okay, all right.
I could do a top 5 Cenobites. I would actually include some from the remake. I think a lot of those designs are really cool.
I thought those were cool too. None of them enter my top 5, but I thought they were really rad. I did enjoy them. I liked the remake too. I thought it was surprisingly really cool. Kind of flipped everything on its head. And
I kind of didn't like that it took the remake of Pet Sematary route and be like, we're just going to change everything because we want to. I didn't really like that route, but
I'm sure we can cover it on the main feed one day. They're not going to do a sequel to it, are they?
I would love to.
I don't think so. No, it was.
I'd love to watch it again. So. And the thing about the Hellraiser movies is they're not movies. They're not my kind of movie.
Same.
But they're really cool and interesting, so I watch them anyway. So I need motivation. So please, can we do? Because I want to see that movie again, but I also don't want to see that movie again. So if we did it for the podcast, like
that's the thing. I've only seen the first two, but I love the lore of Hellraiser, so I know more
Oh
about the lore of
yeah,
Hellraiser than I've watched the movies.
like that's a lore double feature with like Phantasm or something. Like that shit is
Yeah, the shit goes deep.
a lot going on there.
There's comics and all sorts of shit that
Oh
Mhm.
yeah,
stands on
that's
it.
right.
Yeah. And books, other books besides the one that it's based on.
That's true. And it's
Yeah.
been it's been through so many production and distribution companies too. Like
Yeah. Unfortunately,
Those-
most of them direct to DVD or movie.
Right.
or
those
VHS, but
after like the third one, I think.
yeah.
Or maybe it was Bloodlines, the one Dimension did.
I think the first 4 were theatrical, and everything after 4 was direct to video.
Top 5 Cenobites. Anybody who has a top 5, put it in the comments if you'd like to hear us do a top 5 Cenobites and make Steven watch those horrible, icky movies that are also really good. Let us know in the comments, man. Let us know, because Steven,
or you
if
can
you
just
want us to
stop.
do it, Steven will do it.
You can just stop when you find 5 Cenobites you dig. That's all. Like,
Have
one
you
of my
seen
favorites is like
any?
the fat one with like the really skinny glasses.
I like
the
that
really
guy
small
too.
eyes. That
Yeah.
guy. I like that guy.
Yeah, they're just all so I'm trying to think of a Cenobite that I don't like, at least kind of think is rad.
Yeah.
I can't think of one. Steven, you haven't seen any Hellraisers?
I've seen the original, and that's it.
It's a lot.
It
It's
is
a lot.
It sure as fuck is.
Don't
fucked up
cry,
movie.
Steven. It's such a waste of good suffering.
Look, all I do these days is cry, so that's
No,
that's not
dude.
entirely true, but
No, dude.
dude.
I do know.
Yeah, so I was right. Everything after Bloodline is direct to video. So Inferno, Hellseeker,
Sweet.
Deader, Hellworld, Revelations, and Judgment
Sweet.
are all direct to video.
Yeah, man. I want to say that Hellraiser went to space before Friday the 13th did, but I'm not sure on that.
Bloodlines came out. Bloodlines is the space
So.
one, right?
I believe so.
Didn't Leprechaun go to space before him too?
Bloodline is 96. Leprechaun 4, which is Leprechaun in Space. I did fucking watch those. God, what was I thinking?
I tried
Warwick
to tell
Davis. Like, what are you gonna
but
do?
you insisted.
I did. I really did.
You gotta respect the Warwick Davis.
Also
man.
came out in 96. So that's a Letterboxd, hyper specific Letterboxd list. Fourth installments in 1996 fourth installments of horror franchises that send their main characters to outer space.
But those both came out before Jason X, because Jason X came out around the time this did. No, after.
No,
like
2001.
2001. Hey.
There you go.
Nice.
But yeah,
dude.
Bloodlines. The reason it takes place in the future, by the way, in case you're curious, I know you are.
Steven,
is that it? I mean, it does like the past, like the guy that created the puzzle box, and then like it starts in the future, which is fucking weird, and then it goes back to the guy that created the puzzle box.
Like Back to the Future too.
Kinda, yeah. It jumps all over the place time wise.
I mean, Hellraiser in Space, isn't that just Event Horizon?
That's not, man. I haven't heard that joke for at least a couple minutes. So.
Hey.
I wasn't trying to make a joke. I was just asking, but okay.
Did you guys?
No, I mean it's a pretty common like description of Event Horizon. But look, I mean, it's clear that it's inspired by Hellraiser. She even says I have such sights to show you. Like it's
right. Okay.
She quotes Pinhead, like, so yeah.
But see, like that movie, but that movie instead is an homage, which is what this movie should have been.
Sure.
Instead of
yes. Look at you trying to get us back on track.
Hey man, it felt good because it was the same thing. It was the same thing we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
I do agree with you though. Like homage feels like a better use of than trying to make it an actual physical sequel. Because I don't, as far as a direct sequel goes, I don't think it works very well. But as its own thing, divorced from the Carrie stuff, I feel like I would enjoy it 10% more.
I think it's a fine line though, because you don't want to get too far into the weeds, and then you got everybody saying, "Well, this is just a Carrie ripoff."
Mm-hmm.
That's true, and I think the Carrie related stuff in this movie, I don't think it's bad. Like, I don't think it's badly acted, shot, anything. I just think it doesn't belong in this fucking movie.
It feels tacked on. It feels like an afterthought, which is
And it
apparently
was,
exactly
like I
what
say,
it
they had a
was.
full
Right.
script, and then they rewrote it just to stick some Carrie shit in there. Basically, figure out what the connection is and figure out how you can like pepper that in.
Right. Yeah, which feels disingenuous to me. I don't like that, but
yeah, I don't like it either. Still love this movie, but I don't.
I
like
mean that is a very Hollywood way of making sequels, though. Like, you get a script and you're like, I don't know, could we change a couple things and make it this kind of movie? Yeah.
I think that's another reason that I might be more forgiving to films like this, and like I've mentioned before, like Blair Witch 2
Mm-hmm.
and stuff, because I'm so used to the studio just coming in and taking a really good idea and screwing it up,
Mm-hmm.
that like my expectations have lowered in a certain way,
Right.
to where I'm like, okay, as long as this concept is good, as long as the studio doesn't fuck with it too much,
Right.
and it shouldn't be that way. It should just be like somebody straight up making art and shit, and me being like, oh, that's rad. But instead,
in a perfect world.
which also, in the same breath, I will say I get that studios are businesses and they have to make money.
Mm-hmm.
So I completely understand that too. So I don't really know where I stand on it.
And I mean, IP, especially these days, IP is basically the only way the studios know to make money.
Yeah.
So like it kind of becomes an Ouroboros thing where everyone's trying to pour as much as they can into IP, and maybe 10% of it actually hits. And so we just keep pouring more and more into it in the hopes that it'll be part of the 10% that actually hits, even though that numbers game is pretty off. Even Marvel's not really hitting like they used to. So,
Echo was the shit though. Did you guys finish that yet?
I did. I did find the time to finish one episode a day, but I did manage to do it. Yes.
Well, that's the best way to do it. I didn't binge it either. They put it all out at once, and I'm like, come on, guys, give me a break.
I prefer to binge it. It took a lot of willpower to not like lose sleep over binging the whole thing, but
yeah, dude, I'm telling you, it was good. Steven, you hear that? It was good.
It was really good. Yeah, it definitely feels like it fits in the Netflix Daredevil universe, which is very good. And
yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Which I heard is that's all canon now.
Yeah, dude.
Yes, it is.
Brett, I would like to recommend to you the gal that plays Maya was on Jimmy Fallon a couple nights ago, and I recommend you check that out on YouTube because it's so fucking rad.
Okay.
She's straight up the raddest.
Yeah, she does seem pretty cool.
And anybody else who liked Echo, check out that clip from tonight's show because it's really rad.
Don't want to go on a tangent too far here, but I do have to ask that silly part you were talking about in episode 3. What were you talking about?
Okay, so this really should be on a What Are We Watching, but we're not doing a What Are We Watching this week, so here we go. A little bit.
We didn't do one last week either, apparently. But
and we did. Shut up. We're gonna go into the
shots fired. Goddamn.
What Are We Watching corner over here. So the thing about the contact lens that he puts on her eye, so that when he speaks, it shows like these like phantom hands doing sign language. Why not just have it transcribe what you say?
A lot of people have pointed that out. I noticed.
Not because I don't think.
I'm not gonna lie.
I don't think that she would mind either way. Like, it would be just as easy for her to watch those phantom hands as it would be for her to read it in text, and she'd understand it the same way. It just seems like why go that far? Like, it's almost like a slap in her face because like at one point she's talking to him and she's like, and that's why you never fucking learn sign language because you suck.
Yeah, I think that's the point. When I was honestly very upset that they even had that line at the end. I felt like that was more supposed to be implied. You didn't need to like put a lampshade on it. Like that, he never learned sign language because he doesn't actually care about her that much. So,
Well, he cares about her almost as much as is possible for that character, which is not very much.
right, sure.
Just yeah, Kingpin. He's interesting because he thinks like if I said that to him, he would not think I was correct. Like I think
Right.
he believes that he cares about her.
Yeah.
It's the same way as he believes that he's doing good for the city by like running drugs and murdering people, like
Sure. Yeah.
he's obviously a bit mentally ill.
Very.
Delusions of grandeur and such.
Yeah.
Good old Kingpin. Vincent
There's-
D'Onofrio just knocking it out of the park every time.
I do
Daredevil,
love his portrayal
Hawkeye,
of that character.
Echo, new Daredevil, I'm sure of it. Pop, 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 pop. Out of the park.
Yeah. That's the other thing. Yeah, the end of Echo sets up Born Again for sure.
Yes, it does. And you know what I read, which is the best thing I've probably ever read about an MCU show ever in my life, is that with the shakeup in the writer's room for the new Daredevil series, where they started, then they got rid of everybody and started again. The rumor is that they're bringing Foggy back, dude. And what the fuck? How would you even think of doing Daredevil without Foggy anyway?
Foggy and Karen both are coming back. Yeah, and the original plan was for them to die off screen in between seasons. Like that's how.
Yikes,
dude.
Yeah,
like,
that's.
I'm
That's
glad
why
they got rid of whoever was like good for them. I want them to make money, but also please don't do this show. Whoever you
That's
are
why
that
I'm
didn't want
hopeful.
Foggy in there.
So I'm hopeful for the MCU moving forward that they've learned from their hubris and that they're actually going to go back to trying a little bit harder now. Because
Well, I think they're put in a position with the whole Kang thing too, to where they're gonna have to be creative. They're gonna have to come up with something that's gonna blow our socks off because,
right,
like, what the fuck are you gonna do? Like, they're kind of behind the cue ball right now. They got to do something. It's gonna go either way.
Right.
Yeah, dude. So the Rage Carrie 2 is really rad.
It's all right.
Well, I love
the
it.
last 10 minutes is rad. Last 15, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. The ending is rad, but
I do like the ending, but I do prefer the teen drama stuff. I think it's compelling.
Because you don't really want to wait for their lives to be over. You want to know right now, what will it be?
Were you a Dawson's Creek fan, Tucker?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I never watched The Dawson. I never watched The OC. Shit, I didn't even watch 90210 because I'm old enough to have been maybe interested in that when it was on. Don't like that kind of stuff.
No, Tucker was a Melrose Place super bitch.
Nope. Didn't watch Melrose Place. Didn't watch Party 5. Didn't watch any of that shit. It's totally not my genre, which is why the times that it pops up, like my love for the ABC Family show Greek and my love for this movie, it's uncharacteristic, but it's still true.
But it's uncharacteristic that I didn't like this movie, because if you give me teen drama mixed with supernatural bullshit, then I'm totally in. Yeah. But
Brett, I didn't expect you to straight up love this movie, but I'm a little surprised that you didn't like it any more than you did.
Maybe it's the fact that the supernatural bullshit is just kind of like non-existent most of the time.
Yeah.
It's like not there until it is. And then it's there very briefly, and then it just...
It's almost like a backdoor horror movie, honestly.
Yeah.
I agree with that, but I still straight up love it.
Straight up.
A liggity love it. We're gonna do star ratings on this. Can we talk about the box office?
Yeah, I got it all pulled up, man.
Good. I have to pee, so talk about the box office real quick.
Yeah, so this movie opens on March 12th, 1999. One of the all-time great years for movies, if depending on who you ask. It opens at number 2 in the box office to 7 million in its opening weekend.
Wow, really? I did not expect it to open that high. I'm kind of shocked.
It drops like a stone over the following weeks. I can track it over the next few weeks, but it's March. Like it's like just after the January-February dumping grounds and just before summer blockbuster season. So there's not a lot of strong contenders.
Okay, that makes sense.
Number 1 at the box office in its second week is the Harold Ramis film Analyze This. And then Rage Carrie 2 at number 2. Cruel Intentions at number 3 in its second weekend. In fourth place, The Corruptor, a movie I have never heard of. It is apparently a James Foley film. Brian Cox and Mark Wahlberg are in it.
What if there was a corruptor?
What if someone was a corruptor? At fifth place, Baby Geniuses, starring Dan Monahan from last week's episode on the Night Flyer, in there as well. And then rounding out the top 10, you've got The Deep End of the Ocean, Wing Commander, future episode of the main feed, Wing Commander. The other
hey, that's a video game.
8mm and October Sky, filmed in Indiana.
What millimeter now? What was that?
8.
Oh boy, I love that movie, you guys.
That anyone surprised by that? No? Okay.
Have you either of you seen 8mm?
Of course not, dude.
No.
So it's directed by Joel Schumacher.
I'm aware.
Right after Batman and Robin.
Correct.
And people were like, you suck because you tried to do something different that we didn't like, which fair. But he was like, oh, you think I suck? Pfft, watch this shit.
I have not yet begun to suck.
Motherfucker. No, dude. No. He goes the opposite direction. He does something really gritty. It's a really good film. It has Nicolas Cage and Joaquin Phoenix in it, among others. And
that's pre-Gladiator Joaquin too.
Yeah. He's fantastic.
That's Post to Die for. Is that the movie that he's in with Nicole Kidman?
To Die For is
the
Nicole Kidman.
The Gus Van Sant movie where she plays the weather woman. That's a good movie. I really like that movie, actually. That one's really cool.
Yeah, Criterion just popped out on that one. 4K, dude.
Oh, okay.
Go get
Going
it.
on the list, dude. Going on the list.
Go get it.
I mean, it's not like I have disposable income right now to go get stuff.
But when you do.
When I do.
Maybe it will be on sale.
But yeah, so that after that, the movie drops like a stone across the subsequent weeks that it's in theaters. We're talking, let me actually track it through. So it goes from number 2 to number 7 in the following weekend, and then it goes from number 7 to number 12 in the third weekend, and then from number 12 to number 17, and then from number 17 to number 28 in 5 weekends.
Yeah, dude. That's damn near Idle Hands numbers.
Yeah, and then by its 6th week, it's in 34. It's making less than 200,000 that week at the box office, and it's pretty much cooked at that point. It earns a grand total of $17,760,244 during its entire domestic box office run. It does not really have an international theatrical release, so those are the numbers as they stand.
And that's I think the budget was 21 million.
Yes, according to the numbers, that is accurate. So it doesn't even make back its budget. Tomatometer score on this one does not exist. There is no tomatometer score on this movie.
It didn't do well on video either. Like, nobody gave a shit about this. Like, there's not even a North American Blu-ray of this outside of a twin pack with the 2003 or the 2002 TV version.
Right.
Which is crazy because I recognize like the box art for this movie. Like, it's, like to me, like it's a nostalgic, iconic like cover. So like maybe I just saw it a lot.
It's pretty unique. I'm gonna say it's pretty unique. That might be it too. I think even if I weren't aware of this movie, I would also probably have some memory of the cover or the poster. Not anything else.
The Metascore is a 42 based on mixed average reviews from 21 critics, and the Letterboxd score is a 2.4.
Oh, that's not fair.
Brett, out of 5 stars, how did you rate 1999's The Rage Carrie 2?
You know what? I'm going to raise my original rating just a little bit. give the ending its due a little bit more. I'm gonna bump it up to a 2.
Okay.
That's respectable.
Tucker?
Well, for me, this is a 3. Do I love it? How much I like it is a 5.
Mm-hmm.
But looking at it like without nostalgia goggles, for me, it's a 3.
Fair enough.
3 no goggles, 5 goggles.
It's a 2 for me for sure.
Fair.
Like we said, slightly better than the night flyer, but not much.
Oh, I disagree. That was difficult to get through. I didn't even want to watch the night flyer. This, you could at least take a nap if you wanted to.
And I did.
Well, there you go. See what I mean? Like night flyer, like it's so bad that it like actively makes you watch it. And you don't want to, but
no,
you
you
have
really
to
don't.
because you have a podcast and
You got to
gotta
cover
have
for that
something to
damn
say about
podcast,
it.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Some asshole put it on the schedule, and
But hey, you know what? Episodes like this make all that worth it. That whole cartoon month that sucked balls, this made that worth it. Hated all those movies.
at some point we're going to cover something we're excited about, and that does make the bad stuff worth it. So,
oh yeah, and you know what? Despite your less than thrilled reactions to this film, I am glad that you've seen it because it is a part of me, and now that you've seen it, you know me better.
Indeed. We raise it into the rafters along with Pootie Tang.
Yes. We have grown as friends. Like our
And
friendship
Buckaroo
level has
Banzai.
increased.
And
Yes.
Buckaroo Banzai. We raise it into the rafters of Buckaroo Banzai and Pootie Tang.
Is Return of Captain Invincible up there?
It kind of has to be.
I mean, that's your call if you want it to be.
It has to be, yeah. More to come.
I mean, we gave you a whole fucking show so you can showcase these monstrosities. So yeah.
Dude. This one fits well in the Unenfranchised, though. Look at this cover. You can't make sense of it. Like,
nope.
Like you got Home Improvement boy right there, right? He's just like, hey,
that look on
out.
London's face. Look at that.
That's what I'm saying. Look, there's Sue Snell. She's just like, what's going on there? There's discount Matt Dillon. Hey, what's going on? But Jason London, this boy is upset.
He is
very upset.
Everyone else is very confused. Emily is very like stoic, and then London is just like freaked out.
Can you read that? Let me read this to you. It's awful. Every teen thinks they're terrible thoughts. Hers are deadly.
Yeah, that's terrible. That's an awful tagline.
Right from a terrible like trailer voiceover, yeah.
Yes, it's awful. And this write-up, oh golly, they did not know what to do with this movie or how to market it. And that's a damn shame on both accounts, because I think there's a lot of potential in this film. I think there's a lot of good stuff in this movie, but there's a lot of stuff holding it back, which is why everybody fucking hates it, and I get it.
So I don't understand. They want it to be a Carrie sequel. Lean into that. Like, what is so hard?
Yeah, like commit or don't. Like that's the thing about this movie
That's
is it doesn't want to be a Carrie sequel. It has to be. It doesn't want to be, but it fucking has to be.
Yeah. Yeah, here's the thing: it doesn't have to be, but someone somewhere decided that there was money in it, and so we're making it happen.
The people who are paying for it,
right,
need it to be.
It's a good thing we didn't have this podcast in like 1997, because we would absolutely have probably covered the original Carrie and then have to cover this as a part of that re-enfranchise, which. We're supposed to have one of those on the main feed later this year. So
what else is Beetlejuice the only? Well,
2,
they're doing the Gladiators filming, right?
We never covered Gladiator because they were filming it.
Shit, you guys are clever, dude.
It was on the schedule.
Yeah,
and we took it off because they were filming already.
And that sucks, because the most interesting thing to talk about Gladiator on Disenfranchised would have been the sequel that
Nick Cave
was written. Yeah, like
you know what we should do? We should try to organize a script reading of that sequel, because I have a copy of it.
Well, Steven, you keep talking about all these script readings, and then we never read a script. So
yeah, it's true. We don't.
Just saying, dude, you gotta light that fire, dude.
Yeah, I should reach out to
It's your
I should
baby.
reach out to some of these friends of the podcast and see if any of them would be interested in coming on and doing that.
Because I'm down for it.
Drop it as a main feed bonus or something.
Dude, yeah. Yeah, dude.
So
Good job, you guys.
I don't know. Hey, we talked about The Rage Carrie 2. Good
we
for
watched
us.
The Rage Carrie 2, and I'm so happy. Thank you, gentlemen, for taking this journey with me. It means a lot to me.
That's what we're here for, man.
And we did sort of indirectly answer the question of this podcast, which is, what about this movie killed? I don't remember the conceit that we'd only done this a few times, but I remember
this is the 9th episode, I think. So yeah,
what
was that a part of it?
exactly what killed the franchise?
Yeah, the box office really, and the fact that this is not really a sequel.
The fact that it doesn't want to be a sequel, the fact that it doesn't need to be a sequel, but for some reason it fucking is.
The fact that it comes out 23 years after the original.
And the few people that went to see it saw it because they liked the original, and this is nothing like the fucking original.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, it fucking tanked, like for obvious reasons. I love this movie, but it was always gonna fucking tank.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. It should have been a direct to DVD or a made for TV. It should have been, but it was not.
Yeah, I think it was made for TV at one point, Steven. I was telling you, we got a mystery going on.
We did this already, Tucker. Let me check your Insta feed and make sure that Cat Shay hasn't responded to you yet.
Look, if she does, we're doing a thingy. What do you call it? What's that thing called?
Addendum?
Yes.
No, she's not responded yet.
Did she like it? No, who's Joan?
Who's Joan?
Oh, it's a porn thing. Let me block them real quick.
Porn bot?
Yeah.
Dude, I think she likes you.
They're pretending to be someone else. Damn it. Why does Instagram make it so hard to get people in trouble? It's like they don't want them to get in trouble. What? It's like Google. It's like, report this ad. And you're like, yeah, for copyright infringement, because that shit's obviously illegal. And they're like, well, do you own the copyright, bitch? And you're like, well, I guess this is as far as we go. I concede everything. I can't do anything now. Well, so we'll just block and delete that comment. Anyway, boys, good job. We did a great thing here. It has been done.
Congratulations.
And
go and rest your heroes.
Look, I anticipated this for a long time, and it met and exceeded my expectations.
I am so glad. Yeah. Hopefully it met and exceeded all of yours, patrons. This is taking the place of what are we watching for this week. I don't know what's taking the place of last week's because it didn't get posted on Sunday.
Shut the fuck up! I'm gonna do it. I forgot. It's been a busy week.
Rule of 3, man. It's still funny.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can't do it. I can't do it anymore. But I can. I had to hit that third one. Anyway, let us know your top 5 favorite Cenobites, I guess, in the comments.
Tell us what you think of the Rage Carrie 2.
Tell us what you think of the Rage Carrie 2
in as much detail as possible.
Record yourself talking about the Rage Carrie 2, and maybe Tucker will edit all those together and drop it as a bonus.
No, I'll respond. I don't know how it'll work, but there will be a response, a public response.
Top 5 users of The Shining. Drop that in the comments too.
Yeah, dude.
Top 5 Stephen King adaptations. Ooh, we should do that as a Disenfranchised.
Top 5 sequels to Stephen King adaptations, because sometimes they come back again.
See what you did there.
Sometimes dead is better.
Again. Sometimes dead is better.
Sometimes dead is better.
That should be the tagline of this podcast.
Don't want to come down that road. Ground up there sour.
As long as it's Herman Muster and not the dude from the Night Flyer. Fuck that dude.
I will also accept John Lithgow, but yeah.
Oh yeah, I'd take John Lithgow too, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he was the reason I was excited for that Pet Sematary remake, and then I watched it and I went, oh, okay, never mind.
You guys, I'd like to do at some point, don't put this on the schedule, Steven, but put it on the list. We should do an Unenfranchised on Pet Sematary 2. with Eddie Furlong and Clancy Brown, because I fucking love that movie, and I think you guys, I don't know if you'd like it, but I think you get a kick out of it.
Does not surprise me at all. And look, like
It's
like
a
we
lot of
have a schedule for the Patreon. We just kind of do things
No,
as we think of them.
I'm just saying, I'm not gonna pressure you about it. I'm not gonna annoy you about it. It's just something to throw on the
I've
list.
heard that before.
No, you haven't, because normally I just pester you and annoy you about it.
Yeah, that's true.
So
You do.
this time I'm letting you know that this is not extremely important to me. It's just something I'd like to put on the list to get to eventually.
Okay.
Band meeting over.
All right.
We did it, you guys.
We did it. All right. And that's, I don't know. That's it. That's all. Bye, everybody.
Love you. Bye.
Love you too. Bye.